The Dode Fox Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Dode Fox Podcast. I'm Ronnie, he's Paul, and surely nobody really believed me when I said we'd no get beat today. Like, subscribe and click the notification bell on YouTube. Support the pod, buymeacoffee.com/Dode Fox Podcast. You can listen at dodefoxpodcast.com and follow us on social media. We're at Dode Fox Podcast.
Coming up on this week's episode, the week that was, Aberdeen and Motherwell review, St Mirren and Falkirk preview. It's all coming up on episode 325 of the Dode Fox Podcast.
Hi, I'm Morgan Gomes, and you're listening to the Dode Fox Podcast.
So welcome back to the award-winning Dode Fox Podcast with Falling Down Easier Than Callum Slattery, Paul McNichol, and Blind Faith, Pure Stupidity, and Fueled by Absinthe, Ronnie Costello. It's fresh, Paul. It's just in the door, podcast recording time. Just back from Motherwell, battled through traffic and everything else. And you look absolutely overjoyed to be speaking to me right now.
Yeah, this will probably be quite a short podcast, I would imagine, Rondo, because my granny always said if you've got nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing. So we'll see how this goes.
Fair play. Quick week it was, just a few things to go through. Owen Sturton made his Airdrie debut in midweek. He also got an assist today.
Excellent. Well, good for him. I would argue it's probably about 6 months too late. It would have been good if he was playing all season, but obviously there's been injuries, there's been a need for him to be around Tannadice, so I could understand why it's happened. But ultimately, from his point of view, it's probably been a bit of a stop-start, maybe even a waste of a season for him, because there's a lot of games that he's missed out on, sadly.
Yeah, and his mate Big Sam has extended his United contract until the summer of 2029.
Yeah, I would say that's a positive, definitely. Sam's someone I rate. Now, you could say that a lot of people might think he's not ready yet. Would he have been a worse option than a lot of other boys that we've seen this season? I don't know. But again, it's kind of similar to the Owen Sturton situation. It would have been good if we're deeming him as not ready yet for him to have went out on loan and played another full season. You know, man's football, like elbows in the back of the head, fucking headers in the bus, stuff like that. Just get minutes under your belt. But again, for whatever reason, because we were short of numbers at the start of the season, I think it was Ross Graham that was injured, so we didn't really want to leave ourselves short. But if I'm Sam Cleohard, I'm quite possibly feeling that it's been a bit of a waste of a season, similar to Owen.
It's quite big as well. It's a 3.5 year deal now.
And I think that tells you that the club rate him. And he obviously wants to stay here and progress, which is no great surprise considering he's a Boyhood United fan, which will only go so far, I would imagine. Like, if he's still not getting a game this time next year, then he might not want to stick around too much longer. But yeah, on the face of it, it's a positive that we've been able to tie down Sam for a good period of time. You just need him to get games. And if it's not going to be here next season or whatever, he needs games. So that needs to be addressed in the summer.
And I'm sure it's one of these deals that protects him, gives him a bit of security for 3.5 years, but also protects the club as well of investing in an academy player that's broke into the first team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guaranteed. Like, it's probably mutually beneficial, but again, it will come down to, is he going to get games? And if he's not going to get them here, are we prepared to put him out on loan and still maintain his registration, if you will, rather than just punting him? I hope that's the case, because like any academy graduate that is highly rated and they get some sort of focus onto the first team and they get some minutes and they break into it, you kind of want to see them do well, don't you? Like, just a regular fan wants that from their own academy. And you want them to stay for a number of games to excel, to get better and better. And ultimately, we all know that if you hit the pinnacle of what you probably can achieve, you're not going to be at Tannadice your whole career. So that's kind of what you want. But first and foremost, like I keep repeating myself, he's got to get games. Like, sitting on a bench all of next season, that's not going to do him any favours. So yeah, that situation needs to be addressed, but it's great that he's tied down.
With all these fixture moves, we obviously touched on that the Celtic game, Dundee game are on Sundays, the Falkirk game's on a Friday. It means United don't have a Saturday fixture in March.
And Sitting here right now, Rondo, I'd be quite happy if United didn't have a fixture in March. So fresh is the feeling from getting back home from Motherwell. Like we should say, it's a Saturday evening that we're recording this. But yeah, that's it's a bit shit, isn't it? But that's just the way that it goes at certain periods of time. I think a few months back we went weeks and weeks without a home game. Now we've not got a Saturday game for a whole month. So yeah, it's a bit shit, but it's modern football for you.
3 of them on the TV. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, we usually play astoundingly brilliant on TV, don't we? Historically.
On that fixture, I'll see Jim Goodwin had a bit of a go at the SPFL this week, given that's a run of 7 games in 20 days. And obviously this week's today, Tuesday, Friday. The SPFL have obviously thought, the SFA, whoever it is, that agree if when with the split coming up, couldn't take the chance, hence the St Mirren game's happening. But you kind of feel when that game moved from a Saturday to a Friday night, though.
Yeah.
It's
Of
asking
course,
a lot.
Of course it is. And I'm almost like St Mirren are still in the cup as well. Now, I'm not entirely certain when their game is, but I'm pretty sure that they would have preferred the midweek off and then just play that rearranged fixture either the following midweek or one after. Like, I don't think we've got loads of games in midweeks coming up, but I believe that the decision was taken just in case there's more call-offs. But yeah, once again, like the SFA or the SPFL, whoever it is that makes these decisions, and common sense, they tend not to go hand in hand. So that's why we've now got this fixture congestion. But we're just going to get on with it.
St Mirren play Partick Thistle next Sunday at 7:30.
Yeah, so they've obviously got a lot more, 2 days more time to prepare for that. But like, I still maintain if you had it offered them to get the midweek fixture like put back another week or two, they probably would have been agreeable to that. So I think this decision's 100% come from the league, and they've just not cared for any explanations or reasoning behind us not wanting to play it this midweek.
Don't believe you. No tatting clubs or
Telling
players
you.
into any thought.
I'm telling you,
Don't believe
that's what happens.
I've never happened. I suppose we have to talk about during the week, given there was a game, a forgettable one possibly, but there was a game. Aberdeen were in town, and it might have been one of the worst, if not the worst, United Aberdeen games I've ever watched.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with any of what you just said there, Rondo. It was absolutely loud. 2 poor teams, loads of effort. I thought. Like, I didn't leave the ground that night thinking he wasn't really trying, and he looked like he couldn't be arsed. I thought boys genuinely worked their socks off, but the level of quality on show, it was just non-existent. It really was. I mean, even Aberdeen even managed to miss an open goal. Like, that's how little quality there was, Rondo.
And how do you miss that open goal, by the way?
Well, because you just fucking think it's too easy. Like, I haven't watched that back, and as I sit here, I will say right now, I've clearly not been able to watch anything for the Motherwell game back either. But yeah, like, I suppose it depends how quickly you want to brochure the Aberdeen game. Like, if you keep a clean sheet,
we'll speak about it, but
well,
no,
well,
we
okay.
didn't you go at length. We didn't you go at length.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
well, I will let you lead. I will let you lead.
3 changes. Tannadice came back in, Trapmanovsky came in, Satsor came in, Ross Graham, Craig Sibbald dropped out. Obviously, Craig Sibbald, we know, was injured, and this was the middle fixture on the 7 games in 20 days. And I'm pretty sure, like you said it last week, we didn't care what Aberdeen's going to turn up. But ultimately, we didn't care what Dundee United were going to turn up.
No. And you know what? Aberdeen are absolutely stinking, Rondo. They really are. But from being honest, so are we just now. We really are. You could say that we're an honest, hard-working bunch, but my God, we're not a particularly great team. We're not a good watch. And I said last week I didn't want to keep going on about it, but Jeezy peeps, man, that pitch helps nobody. It really does now. I mean, it looked bad from my vantage point, but I'm relatively low down. But when I've seen it from higher up, Jesus. That's one of the worst pitches I think I've ever seen. There's Kunsel pitches in Dundee that are in better nick than that, Rondo. Junior pitches are in better nick. And I think what's probably killed it is our attempt to get games on, when we should have probably just took a couple of steps back and said, right, pitch is going to be frozen, pitch is going to be waterlogged, because we've just absolutely destroyed that pitch. It didn't help the game.
I mean, I'm certainly the groundsman, obviously, but
You sure?
Because honestly, I could tell you, I'm definitely no. And the pitch has been really good a lot of the times. It would never be the best in Scotland, but
No,
it would
but
be
didn't
playable.
let me down. Yeah.
Wouldn't let me down. The wee bit of the tunnel would always be questionable, but that's not even the bit in question. It seems to be a patch here, a patch there.
Seems to be a relative decent amount of grass down there. It's everywhere else. It's just like Broughty Ferry Beach. We get the Johnnies on it. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, again, we're no 1970 Brazil here. You know, so I don't think it was ever going to be a spectacle on Wednesday. Because again,
1970 Brazil were probably used to playing on pitches like that, though, Rondo. That amount of sand doing the Copacabana. No bother at that.
But no bother. It's two teams that have no been brilliant, and it's no. And we now know every game's going to be like at Tannadice. It's going to be a hard grind for both teams. Like, I'm not just saying it's for, you know, and somebody says to me during the week, I'm trying. I'll paraphrase how they said it, but basically it was like, but United will get the advantage playing on that as the home team. I was like, it's just not an Arsenal we're training on every day. Like, United want to play on that. Like, I mean, the biggest thing is
nobody gets an advantage, Rondo.
No, and it'll be interesting to see how the Celtic day on it, given what they'll be definitely used to and stuff.
Yeah.
And I suppose every team, even Aberdeen, probably went. I mean, Peter Levin obviously come out and said that's the worst pitch I've ever seen and whatever. You know, right, fair point. It's your opinion. Get what I mean? And it's no great. Both teams are obviously playing on it, and you see like the baubles, the pass. I'm putting it there. It's maybe not enough on it. You put another pass and it just zips for whatever reason, and it was never going to be spectacular. But you know, both teams had to play on it, and I thought Aberdeen started probably the brighter, but the biggest chance. I know Bernard Brewer, as I say, for Shinnie, but if Pan Kamara scores, taps were being in the half position. What an effort that was!
Yeah,
you were right behind it.
I was, yeah. I thought it was in, Rondo. Even when I hit the post, the direction of travel, I thought that's going to nestle beautifully in that far corner, and it just didn't. And I don't know. Did the keeper get a touch, or did it just hit off the post? And
keeper just gets a touch, but again, whether it's
a good
the spin
save,
on the bar, the technique,
it's a good save.
But when you see the bar hit the deck and nobody follows up, probably because it doesn't bounce where we think it should. You know, it sort of spins back towards the keeper ever so slightly, but it was a great effort and out of nothing, really. I didn't see that coming.
No, and if that had been like the winner, that would have been so not befitting of that match, like a goal that good. But yeah, it was a hell of an effort, and it was really unlucky in the moment.
I actually thought we had a couple of other good chances in the first half. And Crestes heads wide for a Trapanovsky corner. He should do better. He's unmarked, but then I thought the best chances came for Graham Shinnie nearly putting his in net.
Yeah, the big dumpling that he is. Yeah, but like there was nothing much in the match. Like, and like at half time, people were saying, "What do you think?" And I was like, "It's just stinking. It's just absolutely stinking." And I didn't mean that United were stinking. I just meant in general, Rondo. It was just rubbish. It was just a really shite game. The difference could have been the Kamara thing in the first half, but there was no flowing football. Like we joked, or certainly I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, joking about the pitch. I was like, it's fine, like the pitch is shite, we'll just go long ball all the time. It did feel like there was an awful lot of long balls. The one thing that stuck in my mind from the first half was Kevin Nisbet banning fouls left, right and centre, and then getting up and smirking at the crowd. He cans, like, and I can't moan about it every time, and it's cheating, but it really pisses me off. Like, cheats are prospering these days in football, Rondo, when you've got all these cameras that should, on the face of it, mean that they can't prosper, but it's happening. It's happening.
I mean, you'll be obviously shocked that St Mirren won their appeal against the boy King on Slattery last week.
Amazed. Yeah, because I thought he really hit him. Like, I thought it was like David Hay hit him. It was ridiculous.
But yeah, at half time was a case of, I thought United had the better of the chances in the first half. Like, we certainly had
yeah.
Shinnie, could have been own goal, Carestes, Kamara hitting the post.
Yeah, but yeah, you could argue that, and I wouldn't disagree. But it wasn't overly enjoyable, if I'm being honest. But here, I would have took no overly enjoyable and being 1 or 2-0 up at half time, but that wasn't a be.
And ultimately, the biggest chance of the game came for Kevin Nisbet.
It did, yeah. And in the main, although I think that we were relatively defensive, and I think that's because we were trying to get back to being harder to beat rather than really good going forward. And there's a bit of me that understands it, but it's not good to watch. Like in the main, again, similar to Kilmarnock, I thought that we defended quite well. But then Big Yuri just fucking switches off. And Nisbet should score that, Rondo. Like, we're laughing about it and poking fun at the boy because he threw himself to the ground numerous times in the first half. But I expect Kevin Nisbet to score an open goal. I really do. And what Big Yuri was doing, I don't know. But you can't get out muscled there. You just can't. Like, you feel like saying, big guy, you've played so well here, so well, and then you've just switched off in that moment, which has cost us all season, defenders switching off in moments. And we got incredibly lucky. Nisbet can't have missed that. If I'm Aberdeen, I'm biling that he stuck that past the post, but I was incredibly relieved.
And I thought it was probably the first time that Olasanya actually got the better of any of the defenders the whole night.
He's a big hum. Like, he's fished. Honestly, there was and I don't care if it was the pitch. Maybe it was, but there was a few times where he tries to do something and you feel like shouting and helping him out, saying, "Here, had the ball with you." Like, it was it caught under his feet, running past it. He's just not a great player. He can be dangerous if you get him in the right positions, I suppose. But we were defending relatively deep. I thought maybe to counteract the fact that he would easily beat any of our defenders in a foot race. But yeah, he wasn't great. But as you say, that was the main thing that he done the whole night, and it almost led to a goal.
Yeah. Did you see much at the time? Probably didn't, because of where you were. The appeals for handball against Big Yuri.
No. Was it a handball? I've not even watched it back, so I'm not sure.
Again, where can his hands go when you're on the deck? Like, we keep saying this in football. Like, you can't just drop and put your hands in the air and whatever. So no, I didn't think
got
it
to shout
was.
for it though. We would shout for it, and you know what?
I'd have been screaming for it, mate.
Of course, no, and even these days, Rondo, like, me and you might look at that and think that's never a penalty, but you still scream for it because you just never know. The decisions that are getting made on a weekly basis, you just never know. You might get it one day. Shout for it.
Yeah, we're kind of struggling to create any sort of clear cut for open play, but we had two chances late on.
Right at the death, yeah. I can't remember the first chance, but I can remember the second chance, which was essentially the last kick of the bar, and that was Big Manny. And he just blazes it out of the bar. I think it fell on his right foot, actually. I could be wrong with that. I can't mind, but that was a more than a half chance, Rondo. No a great chance, but more than a half chance. Was it Lucas Stevenson? Did he have chances before that? Dolchik. That's right. It was Dolchik. Yeah, like that might have felt like robbery if you're an Aberdeen fan, and if we had scored there, but I'd have been all about it. Like, I wouldn't have really cared. But no, ultimately it was a shite game played out on a shite pitch by two fairly poor teams, and the point was probably the right result.
You know, that's two home games, obviously, Kilmarnock, and the disappointment or devastation of the late sort of Kilmarnock goal, and then there. And that's the kind of mind in what game it was Manny that had what looked like an absolute thunder blast that somebody hit them in the chest, like. But kind of mind if that was on Tuesday or on Saturday, but you just thought, again, that was a bit of a rocket, like. So I'm again liking what I'm seeing early days film at me. If you scored there, you'd been an absolute hero. But it finished 0-0. First Premiership clean sheet since the 13th of December. 12th league draw of the campaign. Shitey pitch, two shite teams. Draw probably the fair result, even though I think we had the better chances, I would say.
Maybe. I thought they were the team there on the front foot second half, but like Pan Kamara hitting the post, Kerstes header, Shinnie trying to score for United, and the two big chances at the end. Like, you can make an argument, like, but I think it would have been incredibly fortunate if any of the teams on the night had went away with the 3 points. I mean, they've had the best chance. They've had an open goal and put it past the post.
Yeah. Defensively, apart from the Yuri moment, better. I thought Big Manny, for his work in front of the back three, really good. But we are, and this is what you touching on the day, that getting momentum, getting a real run of stuff. They were having bits in games, but we're no putting anything together in terms of, 20, 30 minute spells. It seems to be 2 minutes here, 5 minutes here, and that could be a long night, afternoon, over 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's a tough watch, Rondo. Honestly, it's a tough watch. It's not overly enjoyable. Like it's the Aberdeen game. Like before we get to the Motherwell game, the Aberdeen game will not live long in the memory. Like it was two honest teams going at it. Like we've said, they did put in their graft, no doubt about it. There was just no quality on show, no quality whatsoever.
Yeah, and even before that game, somebody on this podcast said, "We'll not get better on Saturday."
You did, and I was dying for you to put it out on a TikTok video, Rondo. You can, I was, because it's often me that marks the tit of myself, and I just had a feeling that quote of yours last week might have come back to bite you in the arse.
Well, you were then feeding me absinthe. I was just drinking it.
And it was making you talk shite, as I suspected it would.
More than normal, it would seem. Yeah, it was a trip down to third part of the day against Motherwell. Again, on the back of two draws. They've been going great guns, as we've said. I mean, again, you talk about TikTok and clips. Like, it was a roundabout compliment you were paying them, but they just took it other wrong way. But you were ultimately saying, here's a boy getting a tune out of players that they didn't want at their team, let alone anybody else wanting at their team.
Yep.
And getting to play. And I mean, I'll lead in and ask you this and all, but obviously we were setting up as if they are a really good team. They're going to have say in where this title ends up as well. No for them, but just in general, I think they are going to have say, because they are on their day a very, very good team. But they are another team that has come under slight criticism for how their pitch is looking. Know that their results would tell you anything, but before we get into it, how did it look to you the day?
Well, I was in the bottom tier. I was in the bottom corner of that main stand, so it looked all right to me. But again, the vantage point I'm getting is almost pitch level, so I wasn't in the top tier. I wasn't in there at any point in the day. So, and I haven't seen it on TV, so I don't know. But it looked all right. Like I was low enough to see that the ball wasn't bobbling all over the place when they were passing it between themselves. Like I don't think we ever passed the ball on the ground, so I wasn't able to say that it wasn't bobbling when we were doing the same. But it seemed all right. Like if our players have went for what we played on Tuesday night to what they played on today, I don't think they get any complaints. I think it was a night and day surface for them. Like,
yeah, and 3 games in 6 days coming up. Have you rotation 5 changes?
Yeah, and like I got wind of that on a Friday night, and I can't say I was overly happy. Did I understand it? Probably, yeah, because we the best will in the world. I think we could have played our best team today. The way that we set up against Motherwell this season, we probably wouldn't have beat them. And that's very defeatist to say, but that's just the way that I feel about it just now. So I understood it, but I didn't like it because it almost felt like you were fucking hoisting up the white flag before you'd even bothered heading through to Lanarkshire. And that doesn't sit great with me. It doesn't sit great with many people. So it was disappointing. But again, on the other side, it was kind of understandable because out these next 3 games, like St Mirren's massive because we still need a few wins in the league to be sure that we're going to be safe. And then ultimately, your season's kind of hinging, it feels like, on next Friday through in Falkirk. So that's maybe when you're wanting guys to be at their freshest. But for paying punters that have travelled through 90 miles to go to Motherwell, it's about seeing that.
I suppose, like you're saying, on one hand, you can understand it. But ultimately, you don't like it. You don't want to see it. But, it's in of them that you're saying you could have played your full team and got beat 1-0 the day. You still get beat. It's a massive game on Tuesday, but again, it's all about this afternoon. But, we'll never know, obviously, depending on what team he picks or how it goes about or everything like that. Ultimately, you're going to play a very good side on their pitch who have done really well. We spoke about it last week, how many games are on and how many since they've drawn, how many they've lost. They are on a very, very good run of form. They play really good stuff. And like you said, you're getting players that a lot of people hadn't heard of have come in, a manager a lot of people hadn't heard of, getting a tune at them. I mean, you've got the boy Elliot Watt, like he was at St Johnstone. Aberdeen will tell you, he was shy at St Johnstone. But sometimes you go to a team, you fit in with a team, and you can prosper. You know, like you said, you get a tune out of boys like McGinn and O'Donnell.
They've been a revelation, haven't they? They really have. And at times today, I genuinely wondered if United were playing the same sport as them, because it just looked like our setup was to limit them. There didn't seem to be any focus on what we might be able to do. And it was just like within the first 4 or 5 minutes, I kept looking at the clock because I felt like all the action was right in front of me. It was in the United goal mouth. Now I get that they didn't have a shot on target the first half, apart from their penalty, I think. But it was just one-way traffic. We were sitting back just trying to close them down. I think we were man marking Abdi. I think right across the board we were man marking. But just watching the two teams though, Rondo, I don't know if you've managed to catch any of the game today or no, but their movement compared to ours is absolutely frightening. It's frightening. Like they've got runners for everywhere. Like your head's on a swivel watching it. But I maintain it certainly looked to me like we went there and hoisted up the white flag. I think we just accepted we're going to do well to get anything here today. Let's just go there and see what we can do. Let's just limit Motherwell. And as a Dundee United fan, that's really fucking heart of stomach. Like that really is. I don't care how well they've done this season. Like you've got a boy like Julius Eskison. I don't care if he's good or if he's no good, but he's apparently a number 10. And then you put him in a situation like that, and number 10s that they're usually known for their graft and their tracking back and their man marking. He doesn't get the chance to show what he can do, and neither did anybody really, other than grafters in the team. But it was just it was a struggle today. Like it really was. It was quite disheartening, to be honest with you.
Obviously, Maynard Brewer and Yovo combined to deny the boy Said, who's a really good player. And they, like you say, they had chances without hitting shots on target. But Waters and Stevenson had efforts at least at Callum Ward, Cammy Ward. Can't mind the boy's name in the goal.
No idea what his name is. But it just felt like it was just a brief split second, a moment at respite. Because ultimately you just can't, there was going to be another wave after wave of attack coming towards the United goal. But I was shouting and Leo was kind of laughing because anytime United got the bar round about midfield, I was like, fucking shoot, because the boy Ward hates his box. He's never near the box. Just had a shot, and I think somebody did try to tag a shot in the first half and went nowhere near the bloody goal. But it was it was just a struggle, Rondo. It wasn't a good watch at all. It's no great when a Dundee United team is set up against a Motherwell team, regardless of how well they're playing or that. When most people before the game probably thought we were going to get beat, and then when you seen the team come out, you were like, what's going on here? And then myself personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but as I've said to you, I kind of understood it, because out the 3 games, this is probably the least likely to won this one. But to just go there with an acceptance that we're going to try and keep the score down today, it's fucking stinking. And another thing that I noticed when I was watching the game, like the Motherwell players, they were all fucking happy and looked like they were all enjoying life. And United players, it was just a toil. You know, that it was just a sleeves rolled up job and just track him. They didn't get the chance to do anything on the bar. And a lot of the time we did get the bar, we fucking hoofed it away. It was just desperate stuff, it really was.
Just looking at the sort of lineups, and I cannot ignore that Nick Walsh was keen to hand out yellow cards a day. Farrugia booked after just 13 minutes.
I think he does have his hand on the guy as it's side. He's got his hand on the guy. Whether or not he's grabbed him or not, the boys made sure the ref can't that he had been touched. He threw himself to the deck. I mean, how quickly do we hate to skim out anything else that happened to get to the penalty? I'm hoping that you've seen it a wee bit better than me.
We could crack on with the penalty now.
So from my point of view, Rondo, I'll be honest, I didn't even see what happened. I just seen Maswanisi rolling about the deck, hugging his buzz. And I was thinking, I didn't care what's happened there. It must have been a coming together or something, because it was miles off the ball. Miles off the ball. And you could kind of see Vichko probably saying to him, "Get up, you arsehole." And then ultimately, I think so, but it wasn't Croatian. But like, I've been working on my Croatian, so I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I was, "Get up, you arsehole." I'm almost certain of that. But then he seemed to be doing for a couple of minutes, and then it was announced in the stadium, VAR check. And this was while it was almost like it was a drinks break at that point. I was like, well, how is this taking so long? And then when he went out, obviously you fear the worst. And in the moment, I was like, well, I didn't see it, so I didn't really have an opinion whether it's a pile of shite or no. What was annoying was it took about 5 minutes to come to that decision. But I have since seen it back, and the footage that I've seen, like, it's like there's a fucking pole in the way. It's kind of it was filmed for the away end at Parkhead or something. I'm not really sure, but the footage isn't great. But to me, it's no penalty. It's no a penalty. It doesn't look like anything that Vichko has done merits Maswanisi's reaction. It just doesn't. But players are doing that these days because they know it's going to delay the game. Even if VAR miss it themselves in the first instance, they're probably thinking, we can maybe go and check that, because that boy's been getting fucking the magic sponge on his bars, seeing as he's clearly been walloped there. And it's just taken an age. He's went out of the monitor. I fear the worst. He's given the penalty. And at that point, I'm quickly trying to get on Twitter just to see what was going on, see if anybody was watching it in, like, out of the country or something. And I saw that wee clip that I've seen in Rondo. To me, it just isn't. It just isn't, eh?
I mean, that's twice in a week a Motherwell player has over-egged the situation and played on something happening, an attempt at something happening, you know.
But I think I think something happens. I'm sure Vichko, there is he connects with him, but I didn't think it's enough to knock you down, Rondo. I just didn't. And Maswanisi's grabbing him.
Mm-hmm.
As if anything, he's kind of like, the way he's went down, you would think he was absolutely elbowed, like, with a great amount of force. That's not the way it looked to me. And like, if you fast forward, we will come back to it, but if you fast forward to half time, Jim Goodwin was waiting to speak to the referee. He was taking ages to go off the park, probably trying to get Goodwin away. But I was thinking, what can Goodwin possibly say? Back in the day, a manager probably would have said, "Wait till you see that on TV tonight, you arsehole. You will fucking realise you've made a mistake." He's already seen it on the TV. He went out on the monitor and checked it, and somebody's in his ear probably telling him, you can't do that, and it's 2026 and all that, would do stuff like that in football anymore. It's a complete fucking burach. It's a nonsense, Rondo. It's no a penalty. He has bought it. They have fell for it. And we've been fucking punished because of it.
Yeah, I mean, he goes to, like, he's had a full right hook in the ribs or whatever.
And he just wasn't.
He'd obviously VAR then send him. But again, you would love a referee to go, nah, it's no penalty.
Yeah.
You know, and then he books him. Okay, why is he only book him?
Well, I was just about to say that. Why has he not sent him off? And here, don't get me wrong, I absolutely wasn't advocating for Vichko to see a red card there. But if it's off the ball, if it's violent conduct or what I don't even know what it is, because I've not heard or seen too much about it. But if it's off the ball and something's happened worthy enough for them to go out and think, well, that's a penalty, how's he not sent him off? But again, I say that as somebody that clearly doesn't ken the laws of the game. I ken some of them and I interpret them the way that I interpret them. But I would have thought, like, if something happens off the ball that's merited the boy hitting the deck, rolling about in agony, almost like somebody has shot him for the seat next to Tom Cowan in the main stand, then that's got to be a red card offence. But it was a booking, a penalty, and it felt pretty unjust when a couple of minutes later when I seen the replay.
I mean, look at Celtic last week. Trusty's skiing out karate chops. Like, And then, like you say,
But that was with real force. That was with
Huh?
real force. I didn't think Trusty had an argument there. But there was some pundits that were like, I didn't care what happens at the time. I was like, come on, like he's absolutely malgaed him in the air. There's no need for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's really. I don't think Vichko's. He's certainly not at as hard as he rolled about. But
Absolutely
again, unbelievably, got up, no bother to attack the penalty.
Second wind or something, or third bollock or whatever, I don't care what it was, but he done well. He done well to pick himself off his deathbed and took the penalty home. Yeah. It's the way it's going. What about 2 minutes after the penalty then, Rondo? When Maswanisi again goes into the box and Vichko again gets a tackle in. I thought that was like half a shout. For my angle, and as I say, I've not seen that back, but for my angle in the moment, I was like, fucking hell, that's what to be another penalty. And it wasn't. So how was he not booked for Devon? Because he went down, he was bleeding for a penalty.
Ken, what actually you say that? Was all Sanya the same on Tuesday night? Did he not throw himself to somebody threw themselves to the deck on Tuesday night and he never gave nothing?
Nisbet.
Was it Nisbet? There you go.
That was Nisbet in the first half.
But
honestly, see, with the introduction of VAR, you would have hoped that all this shit would have went away, but it's getting worse. Like I don't know about other countries' leagues and whatever, but in Scotland it's getting worse because referees are getting fucking worse. They're giving these decisions from time to time. So I can totally understand players doing it, but ultimately it's cheating. You'll never convince me otherwise.
To say like on again for instance like that on Tuesday. So obviously, like we said the other week, like I'm not here this week coming, so I'm not at the game on Tuesday. So the guy who's covering has come up on Tuesday to see it, and I was like, Ken, because we've got VAR and that, and then a couple of incidents happened, and I'm going, so this screen I'll turn blue. They're looking at or purple. Kind of my colourblind here. I says, and then if you need to say anything, it'll come up. Not once did I go blue the whole night, despite 3 or 4 incidents. You thought, no, probably that could be something. No, nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Even when the goal went in, no, the goal went in. No, even when he dived there and then something else happened in the second half. Can't mind what it was. Even the Yovo handball and I had that wasn't a handball, but that usually takes a bit of time. Nothing.
Yeah.
So
they're obviously making up.
Well, they're obviously making their mind up awfully quickly. But then you're seeing incidents like this. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
But
as I say, like again, I repeat myself on a weekly basis. I wear tangerine tinted glasses. I see things through a United lens, but I don't think that was a penalty. I don't think it was and if it had been the other way about, if it's their defender on Max Waters, I'd have been thinking, fuck, Max, God, stop being a fanny. But now that's a precedent. So the next game's got to be a penalty. But we all know it fucking won't be.
Yeah. I'm assuming half time was mostly about VAR and the bookend penalty and all that.
So there was 2 emotions at half time. Like you kind of felt hard done by with the penalty because you're like, we are trailing 1-0 here, and that was never a penalty. But at the same time, like there was no attacking intent for us. It felt like I know that we've had a shot for Stevenson and for Waters, but that wasn't the norm in that first half. We just went there to try and defend. It felt like piss poor setup, rubbish to watch, and it didn't work ultimately, did it? Like when they went that 1-0 up, I wasn't sitting at half time thinking it's all right, we've got 45 minutes. No, I didn't think anything like that. I thought we were bit because we just never looked like we had anything in that match, certainly in the first half.
The weird thing is, like, we've not looked brilliant in the final third for a good few weeks now. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's something special. A Fatah the other week, a Kamara during the week type thing.
Yeah, if you take Fatah out that forward line just now, like there's not really much happening. And and if we go back about 30 minutes, like when we were talking about Owen Sturton going on loan, and now I get he's maybe not ready, but like you've even took that option away now. We're basically doing to Max Waters and Zach Sapsford. So unless we're going to want to bring somebody in that's a free agent, are we really going to be relying on these 2 guys that are out of form, particularly Waters? He's never been in form for the start of the season. If we're being brutally honest about it, he just hasn't. Whether or not it's injuries or I don't know what it is. I've never met the man. I have no idea what makes him tick, but he's out of form massively. And if Fatah's not in that team, it doesn't look like anybody's going to create anything.
And obviously, all you need is a strong start to the second half to get you going again.
Then lid on it, Rondo. I was getting a push. I've not even fucking seen the goal. I was getting a push. I had just finished. I was heading out, and boys were on about the penalty, and I was like, it wasn't even a penalty, was it, lads? And then I hear music, and boys were like, that's not 2-0. I was like, no, I didn't even think the game started yet. Went back down. Leo was laughing. He's like, you missed a goal. I was like, what the fuck's funny about it? I like you, wee prick. 2-0 down.
Aye.
So I've no idea. If you've seen the goal, you'll have to tell me what happened. I've no idea. I can't. It was Mass when you see. That's all.
Yeah, he takes the ball on edge of the box, turns, hits off of each goal. Wrong foot's made our Brewer 2-0. Kind of said that. It's as simple as that. Like, that's what happens. And then, the game was done and dusted there.
It was, yeah, but because, and I know that there was obviously still 45 minutes left to play, but it felt like they kind of took their foot off the gas, and we huffed and puffed, especially after the changes. Like Fatah looked out of sorts in the main, but you had a couple of wee moments where you thought, oh, something could come of this. I think Trapanovsky hit the post with a corner, yeah. But there was just nothing. Stevenson near the end again. I think I can remember Maynard Brewer making at least one save in the second half. Did he hit a couple? Yeah, a couple of saves. But Motherwell were just seeing the game out by that point, Rondo. It was just it was so fucking easy for them. Yeah, and again, like that was the second time that we've been through there this season, and the first time I remember saying to you, like, how much respect do we want to give this team? It was just so easy for them. The whole game, as much as I can look at their performance and think, that's night and day for what we're trying to do. Like, they've got loads of movement, they're all smiling, they're all on their toes, they're all keen to get forward. Even their fullbacks are bombing forward, and when that happens, boys are falling back into place. They all look like they really enjoy playing football, as opposed to us. But they didn't really go out of second gear. And we offered nothing. We just wanted to stop them. I don't see many positives for a performance like that, because ultimately you've lost, which isn't great. But we can't even hang our hat and say, fuck, what a right good goal. Can that boy he tortured their left back? No, we had nothing. Nothing. We just a team of grafters in the main. No Abdi, but a team of grafters in the main.
Yeah, Motherwell unbeaten 11 now. It just shows the kind of run they've been on.
We've not scored against them. I think it was nothing's up at Tannadice. I think, was it 2-0 in there the first time or 3? I can't even mind.
No, that's one of the worst games of football I've ever seen, and I was there on Tuesday.
Yeah, but we just wanted to stop them again, because, like, what I have heard a wee bit of Jim Goodwin after the game saying, people are looking at them, and me especially, and can it be good to play that way? Fucking hell, we are the opposite. Like, we are the complete polar opposite of what Motherwell do. Motherwell play on the front foot. They look good going forward. We play on our heels, and we didn't do nothing going forward. It's desperate stuff.
23 first half goals conceded in 28 league games.
Yeah. Well, like, we could all bemoan the fact that it was maybe not a penalty, or you could argue it was a penalty, but ultimately the performance was stinking, I thought. I really did. I didn't think that for the get-go, for the jump, we didn't look like we were going to get anything out of that game. And to me, that's on the manager, certainly today. And there's obviously a growing fucking momentum that people are against him. Like, after the game, Rondo, that's up. Like, I'll not say what I was told to say, but like young Charlie Bell, Dave Connor's young lad, he was like, say this and give me a mention. I'm not going to say what you said, Charlie, but I'll give you a mention. But yeah, Goodwin was coming in for a lot of stick after that game, because boys were moaning about the team selection, and I get it, because I moaned about it when I heard that. I moaned to you last night. I was like, this is bullshit. I've bought tickets and I'm going to be travelling near enough 100 miles to watch a weakened team that we have purposely weakened. But I get it. I get why you would want to rest players for the potentially bigger games. But boys spend a lot of money to go and watch that, and it is a mile away from being anything remotely enjoyable just now.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the 3 games, in the last week. Should beat Kilmarnock, right? Should beat them. but we switch off and ultimately you get punished. During the week, fucking sail on the
Stinking game.
ice for Aberdeen to play in, and I think I'll paraphrase slightly Will Ferry here. Again, if you just no had the game and just gave it a point, I think given the 90 minutes we were put through, I think Aberdeen would have taken that. But it's ultimately it was 2 points when it should have been 4. I get that, but I was obviously only joking last week, saying that we'd go down there today and no get bit. But bizarre, I had that bizarre feeling of it. But then you see that the day, and listen, I think take the penalty away, take even the deflection away, I still think Motherwell find a way to win the day. Probably.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
but ultimately they've got 2 bits of luck, but they've won the game. When you're playing well, you get a bit of luck. When you're playing shite, Dane shite, and Ahan shite, you don't get any. You don't get any.
And it is, and we are playing absolutely stinkingly, and I refuse to believe that the players enjoy that. They can't enjoy that, Rondo. We played Motherwell, so that's how they're in the forefront of my mind. But if you look at Motherwell, Stephen O'Donnell, undoubtedly that manager's improved him, in my opinion. Paul McGinn, undoubtedly. Like, you could probably go through even Maswanisi, who everybody's like, oh, he's fantastic. He wasn't always fantastic. He was just like the roadrunner, meet when he was away, and he would maybe score a goal now and again. But I think their manager has improved almost everyone. They are also more than the sum of their parts. Who the fuck have we improved this season? From the start of the season, I would say Fatah. Kamara's been relatively consistent. Sibbald's been relatively consistent. Fatah started slow, but I always thought he's got something, and it still doesn't come out all the time, but you could see it. And like we spoke about it a few minutes ago, like he looks like the only boy that's capable of doing anything for us. Our whole defence, you can maybe argue Yuri. I might give you Yuri as like a slight improvement, but in general, everybody's regressed. There's nobody got any better. Even look at Stevenson, who I fucking love. He's just turned into a boy that gives his all. Like, we're not actually seeing what he does with the bar, because we're not a team that's got the bar. we didn't seem to want to hit the bar. We just want to see what close boys doing and try and get the bar into areas away from our goal. It's piss poor. It really is. Like, it's the season is quickly turned into an absolute fucking shambles.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, we that the day, and then you've got, St Mirren at Tannadice on Tuesday, and a must-win game. Like, we are in must-win territory right now, given they're just 9 points above the relegation playoff spot. Like, we need points quickly before we get dragged into that fight. I mean, I didn't think results they didn't go for with the day, but they're one of the worst. Dundee Hibs is 3-3. I can't even mind what the other score was. It's
St Mirren Livingston was 1-1.
1-1.
Falkirk scalped Kilmarnock.
Bumped.
A team that we couldn't have beat last week. Falkirk scalped them. The results probably did go for us today, Rondo. Like, people will say, but Falkirk won. We've never fucking catching Falkirk. Let's not kid ourselves on. Our ambition this season, at best in the league, is 7th. Like, that's as high as we can finish. And I'm far from convinced that we will. But you're spot on when you say the game. It's almost, it feels like a bit of a must win on Tuesday. So no doubt it'll be another fucking draw. But it does feel like we got to get the 3.
If you're talking like, you mean, and I 100% get chat about to get in the top 6 and how many points it is. But you have to remember, you have to then put a run of results together that we have not done yet this season. We do not have back-to-back league wins this season. We've just not done it in the league. Like, so, and I get, like, you look at the 3 games before the day, 5 points out of 9. So if I was to offer you 5 points out of 9, regardless of opponent, do you take it? 6 out of 9 I might take. But when you tell me you've beat Falkirk, threw it away against Kelly, and then had an absolute stinker against Aberdeen, 2 wins and a draw, I would have 10. But holy moly, but you are asking, or we are looking to put a run of results together that we've not done. So we have to play St Mirren at him, take away the Falkirk game, right? Because I mean that's massive. You get through that is massive, 100%. But let's focus on the league here. We have to play St Mirren. We have to go to Dens. We've then got Celtic. We then need to go to Ibrox. Then we've got Livy at him. So you need to be getting 9 points. 9 points just to mark the last 5 games, and we're done a shite to bed.
No, 100%. St Mirren,
10 games. There's 30 points up for grabs here.
yeah. And we're not going to get all 30 points, Rundle. I don't know. That's maybe a spoiler for people. We're not going to get all 30 points. But the St Mirren game, that's the one that's right in front of it. That is, like, it's not a must win, because if worst case scenario, just say you lose it, it's not like it's the end of your season, but you can't be losing that game not just for the 3 points, for a number of reasons. Like, St Mirren have won one away game all season, I believe. That somebody said that on the radio when I was driving him. They're not a good team. They're not a great team away from home. They've not been particularly good since they won the cup, which probably can happen, and if they survive this season, their fans will probably still think, that's been a cracking year. We won a cup. And I would tend to go along with that theory as well. But from your point of view, it doesn't matter how we get the win on Tuesday. We just have to get the win. But if we're going to start setting up in games to no lose, we're not going to win any game, Rondo. We have got to go out there with a bit of an intent. I suspect that will go 3-5-2 on Tuesday, because that's usually what we play against St Mirren, because that's what they play. But I can't say I'm overly confident, regardless of St Mirren's away record. Like, we've just, as you said, we've not shown any sort of reason for people to believe that we're capable of just showing up and, we'll beat St Mirren because they're shite away from him. No, I'm just not there yet. I'm not ready to be anywhere near there.
Yeah, they beat Falkirk back in September. That's all I know.
That was their only away win, yeah.
Yeah, so we're sitting 7th, 30 points. Aberdeen, 29. Dundee, 28. St Mirren, 24. So if St Mirren win that, they're 3 points behind you. Kilmarnock have played a game more, 21 points. And Livy have played a game more, 14 points. So it's... what's Aberdeen and Dundee's games against? Are they against each other? No, they're not. Aberdeen are Celtic.
Celtic, yeah.
Can't mind what Dundee's game's against. Can't mind. But they've obviously got a game to play as well. But you say it's only 9 points, and I get that Kilmarnock need to be winning 3 games more than you as well, but there's still 10 games to go here.
And we all play each other after the split. Anything could happen. We know, as United fans, what our team has produced after the split on a number of occasions, and it's not exactly scintillating for them. So, yeah, I just want points on the board ASAP. And if the last, as I joked earlier, basically the season for me feels like it's fucking done anyway. I just see when I'm driving in, people on the radio, it's the best season in Scottish football. Nah, it's not. It's fucking shite. Honestly, if you're a United fan, you wouldn't be thinking it was the best then, and it's crap. Just end the season now, please. But you just want points on the board before that split, so that essentially, I'm not saying that boys would put the feet up, because fans are still paying to go to games and whatever, but you would just feel a wee bit more settled in yourself, because just now, as I said last week, like, there's every chance that we could go doing that league no bother. Like, we just hit a real bad vein of form, which we seem to be more capable of doing than a real good vein of form.
Yeah, I mean, you're only, I say it's only 9 because it is only 9 points, so a difference between here and 11th. I can't believe I'm saying that when we're sitting in 7th, but Kevin,
we have to look down because of the way they were playing.
And we certainly can't look up. I mean, that's 12
Absolutely
points. Good in. It's just not happening. No happening. No way they run our games. Kevin, I didn't appreciate what to play Celtic and Rangers back to back.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think games at Tannadice will be really interesting because it's shite for both teams. But you've got to go to Ibrox to face a team that the manager's now getting a tune out and are going for the league. You've got to play a derby at Dens. You've got Livy to come, who again they've only won one a season, and we've had 12 draws, but I mean Rangers, Motherwell, and Livy have had 11. But we are the draw specialists, it seems. But we've only got 6 wins. That's what I'm saying. Why are we getting all these wins in the next 5 games? Like, it's
no. And the draw numbers didn't surprise you when you realise how we set up most games. We'd rather you play not to lose than to play to win. So you're going to draw quite a lot of games.
Yeah. Obviously, looking at the two, St Mirren and Falkirk, obviously St Mirren drew 1-1 the day we Livingston. So far this season, it was a 3-1 win for us at him, but St Mirren beat us there 2-0 in December. So it's kind of, yeah. I mean, the December would be around about the time they won the cup as well, I would have thought.
But we were stinking.
Yeah. And I generally don't care. If I can just go in after somebody's arse or whatever, I really want to care.
Oh, yeah. No, we need... I mean, as much as I'm sitting fucking whining and moaning right now, Rondo, if we beat St Mirren and then go to Falkirk and end up in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup, then resting these players today and putting in that level of performance, nobody will really care. I wouldn't particularly care, because I'll be thinking, right, we've got some 3 valuable points in the league and we've got a wee trip to Hampden on the horizon. But if we didn't get favourable results in these next 2 games, that's not going to be great. There's going to be a lot of apathy. There's going to be a lot of vitriol, probably shouted at the manager, which is never nice. The coaching staff, the club in general. It's it doesn't, as we sit here right now, it doesn't bear thinking about what could happen, because there's no point in thinking negatively. You just got to try and think positively. But again, it's difficult. It's difficult when we've seen the teams that we've been putting out, the performances we've been putting in, the formations we've been picking. It's really difficult to try and remain positive.
Dundee play Motherwell on Saturday. That's their rearranged game. So they've obviously are both at the cup. That's how it's getting played this weekend.
The Diddy League games then. That's what we'll call them.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm not saying the season rides on it, but you just think that
Feels
Friday,
like it,
well, Friday is ultimately to make or break your season, because ultimately our league form needs to get its finger out its arse a wee bit as well. But if we can somehow get a win on Tuesday, it would be massive. And then if you could follow that up, like you're saying, getting through to the next round of the cup, it's a massive for luck. We might need a bit of that, but ultimately we need the players
always need luck. Always need luck in the cup. But then you could argue that we've had a couple of decent draws. Falkirk away is maybe not the easiest, but it's not the hardest. We've just went there the other week and beat them without Amar Fatah. But it's doable. That's what I'm trying to say. But as I sit here, a matter of 3 hours after the final whistle at Motherwell, it's hard to see us beating anybody if we're going to line up like that. And I just didn't know I just didn't know how we're going to line up. It doesn't feel like we've got the options to be overly attacking. Like you could say, well, you've got Max Waters, you've got Sapsot, Trapanovsky, Dolchik. Any of them playing well? Any of them? We can't use Fatah, he's suspended. It's difficult. It's difficult to have a positive outlook right now. It really is.
Yeah. Well, certainly we'll go to Falkirk, Yovo and Fatah, because both will be suspended. Yeah. How much of a miss is Craig Sibbald right now?
I would say he's a miss, because he's kind of a steadying influence in the middle of that park. But I also maintain, I think that the boy Agee, who's been fantastic for his come in, certainly the wee bits I've seen against Aberdeen, he was probably my man of the match, I think. Today I thought, even though he came on when Motherwell, it felt like they were just seeing the game out, that he didn't hide. He put himself about. No, I hadn't come off for him, but I've liked what I've seen for him. Now, would he take Sibbald's place? Probably no, because I think that if you're going 3-5-2, certainly you might want to go Kamara, Sibbald and Agee in the middle of that park. But Sibbald's always going to be a miss. He's influenced. He seems like quite a quiet lad, but he kind of leads by example when he's on that park. So yeah, it's a blow that he's not there.
I think looking at Tuesday, I certainly I'll be amazed if it's not a 3-5-2, because I think you see what Manny Agee gives you in a 3 in midfield.
And he'll start.
Yeah.
I've no doubt that's why he was rested.
Yeah.
He will start.
Yeah. And Kamara's obviously getting in there with him. I think they two are getting some sort of relationship going, and it'll be interesting to see if it is a Stevenson or does he go back to right wing back? Does Vichko stay in the back? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, it was strange today, wasn't it? Yeah.
There's a real, I mean, Fatah will obviously start, but you're it's a lottery of what plays. I think if he's going 2, what do you play? Sapsford and Waters are miles out of form. Miles.
Sapsford looked slightly more lively today when he came on, but that's no saying much because he's no looked anything like lively the last wee while for whatever reason. Like Sunday, I saw online that he maybe had the flu a few weeks ago. Maybe that's just took it out on him. Maybe
Kinda
this is
that
his
feels
first,
right now.
whatever. Maybe this is like the first season that he's played so many games in a league season. Like, I'm really not sure. Maybe it's just like I've heard rumours of homesickness. Who knows? Who knows what's going on, Rondo? What we do know is what we see on the park. And at the start of the season, and for a good portion of the start of the season, he was very good. And it dipped away. It's fallen away. But today, there was wee bits that I thought, right, okay, he's maybe hopefully getting back to where he wants to be. But Mark's Waters and the boy Farrugia as well, we've barely mentioned him. They've given nothing. They've given nothing really so far.
Going through Fatah and Dolce up front, just going to cause a bit of carnage.
What's the worst that could happen? We're going to play the two up front. My only concern is, like, when we at Tannadice, I think we're just going to hoof the bar at the time now. I do. Because it's very difficult. I don't think we're particularly great at playing with the bar on the deck anyway, but it's very difficult to play on the deck. And if we're going to hoof the bar up the park like it seemed like we did against Aberdeen an awful lot, like, what have we got that's going to win it?
Well, I'm kind of do that against them. I think you'd have a chance against Aberdeen because they're not the biggest at the park, but that's a Mum team are like gents.
But we didn't knock the bar out very well. So if you're trying to do it on a fucking bumpy sandy beach, I don't think you're going to have much success. I think it's just going to be another attritional game against St Mirren. Whoever wants it most will probably win it, if anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if it's for 13th draw though.
What are you talking now for this week coming?
I'm looking for 2 wins, Rondo. I'm absolutely looking for 2 wins. The league game's massive. Like, that's the biggest game because that's the next game. That's massive. Like, we need to make sure that we are right in the league. And then you can worry about Falkirk. But Falkirk, as we've said, it does feel like if you go to the Cup, what is there to look forward to? I mean, just say you lose to St Mirren and then you go to the Cup, as we've touched on already. Like, doesn't bear thinking about. But if that happens, you've got potentially a relegation fight on your hands, and that's not something anybody wants to look forward to. So if you go to the Cup, it does feel like that's the season kind of on the winding. And the worry is that the players realise that as well.
And the big thing is you've got to play a Dundee derby, the Old Firm, and bottom of the table Livingston as your 4 games for the split.
Of course, and a concern again is, like, as a fan, you think to yourself, but it's a Dundee derby, boys will be up for it. Like, mind the season when we went down, when Goodwin first came in, when we were in a decent position post-split, and you're like, boys will definitely be up for this. Not.
Couldn't
Like,
be one.
lost our 5 games, like, and you could probably, maybe the last game, but I felt like we were already doing when we went to, strangely enough, Motherwell that day. But it was just, like, how could boys not have been up for that? And I can't guarantee that we're going to have a side that's up for the Dundee derby. We might be. We might win it. But I can't sit here with any confidence and say that's going to be what's going to happen. I'm just not confident about United doing anything just now. I really am not. And it's a lot of it comes from behind the scenes, the way that things appear to be running. But what I'm seeing on the park is a manager that's setting up to try not to lose games rather than win it. A difficult watch.
But 2 wins this week, change it.
Of course, it would. 100%. My puss is fucking glowing next Sunday if that happens, Rondo. Positively glowing. That's football can change in the blink of an eye. It's that simple. But it's hard to sit here and think that we're going to get the 2 wins. That's where I am.
Yeah. It's a massive season defining. You get what? It might just be. Buy me a coffee this week, Paul.
We've got coffees bought as well, Rondo. Jeezy peeps.
Who do we have? People knew it would be a tough end, so we are being fueled.
Excellent. Let me just find that. There we go. So we've got Johnny Mackay, who bought 3 coffees. You're a hero, Johnny. Keep up the great work, guys. Anytime I'm in the car, I'm catching up on your most excellent musings. Arabest, Johnny Faye, Blair Gowrie and District Arabs. Nice one. The bad Arabs, for sure. Jody bought 2 coffees. I get the joy of your faces on my TV when I come home from work, as it's the first thing my man does when he gets in from his early shift. Jody, we apologise, but thank you. The East Side and Display team bought 2 coffees. Top stuff. Taking a break from antisocial behaviour to buy you fine chaps a couple of coffees. Thanks again for your recent donation to the Display Fund and keep up the good work. Thank you very much, lads. And someone bought a coffee. Thanks for the clarification on the was that confusion for the Olympic flame. Still not come out my coma for the sheep game. Biggest load of pish ever. No looking forward to the well game. That's got to be Eltel. That's got to be Eltel. But thank you again to everybody. And the East Side Display team, we didn't touch on it. The statement that came out for the club, obviously, that wasn't overly well received, let's be honest. I didn't see any bother with Spartans. I did see bother after the Killie game, but it was Killie fans running at United. Now, whether or not it was organised before all that, I don't know, but it seemed like a bit of a fucking stretch for the club to just simply come out and put blame on Brain fans. That didn't sit great with me or a lot of people online, it seemed.
Especially when it was you that was going to organise it.
A wee bit.
I've got a shortened Tannadice Test this week because it is late.
Liam, don't.
Listen, it's late on a Saturday night. You're needing cheered up. You might be on a promise. Ed and I can, but I've got 3 rounds, and they're all specific rounds, and this is going to be fun. Round number 1 is entitled Kits. I'm going to tell you the season or seasons. You tell me the kit manufacturer and the front sponsor. Right? So, for example, if I said 1920, you would tell me it's Utilita and Macron, and I would say, well done, 2 points.
Okay, I probably wouldn't have got that, but okay.
So, 2016-17 and 2017-18.
So who made that kit and
Who was the front
sponsored it?
sponsor? Point for each.
I think it was Nike, and I think it was McEwen Fraser Legal.
2 points.
That's a good round. I like this.
Easy. 2003, 2004 and 2004, 2005. Some of these we have obviously had on the wall of kit.
Yeah. I think that's. I think it's Telewest Broadband and TFG maybe. That's what I'm going
1
with.
point. It's TFG and Morning, Noon and Night.
Oh, okay. Eddie's Company. Fair dues.
1992, 1993.
3. Right, so that was. Oh, was it still ASICS or ASICS, however you pronounce
It's
it?
no.
Or
It's a clue. It's no.
yeah, I'm talking my way through the thought process.
Okay.
So it might have been Bukta, and if it was Bukta, it might have been Belhaven.
1 point. Spellhaven.
Loki.
Yep.
Did they not come in like halfway through a season or something? I can't mind, I'm sure that you've maybe done me at a point there.
Arab Archive for all this.
I didn't listen to them, boys.
Exactly. You had someone else you brought up the other week with us. Was it last week? Can't mind.
Somebody's height. Stuart Armstrong.
Stuart Armstrong's height.
Abdi Kens, he was an inch shorter than Prince. I didn't mean Boavin. Definitely had him as 6 foot.
1998, 1999 and 1999, 2000.
Oh, right, okay. 98, 99.
And 99, 2000.
Thinking West Broadband. I've got them doing for sponsoring us for about 30 years here. And I think it was maybe, was that Pony? What was after Pony? I think it's Pony and West Broadband.
1 point. It's Telewest, but it's Olympic Sportswear.
Sportswear, Jesus.
The
So we'll
OS.
probably get retro versions of that in a couple of years, will we? Because they can still be a going concern.
1985, 1986. Final one of
85.
this round.
85, 86. That would have been 85, 86. Ooh. It's either VG or Belhaven Beers. And it's Adidas. Pretty sure it's Adidas. And I'll
Have you a point for Adidas?
86. Yeah, it's definitely Adidas. I'm trying to think, because you used to keep sponsors for a couple of years, did you? It's 84, 85, 85. I'm going to say VG. I'm going
2
VG.
point. Yeah. Round number 2 is 5 questions, all focused on the UEFA Cup.
Okay.
Who has the most appearances for United in the UEFA Cup?
Dave Nery?
Want to use a number?
I'll not give you a specific number, but I'll say it's in the 80s or 90s. I'll say it's in the 90s.
Well, it's Dave Nery, and it's 62.
Okay.
Who is the youngest player to play for United in the UEFA Cup? Christian Daly or Alex Cleland?
Oh, I think it's Daly, but I think you're going to revel in me being wrong. I think it's Daly.
It was Christian Daly. He was 16 years, 11 months and 10 days old on the 3rd of October 1990.
I might have been at that game.
Who is the youngest player to score for United in the UEFA Cup? Christian Daly or Alex Cleland?
I didn't remember Alec Cleland scoring too many goals for United, so I'm going to have to say Christian Daly.
It is Alex Cleland.
Ah, jeez.
18 years, 9 months and 3 days old on the 13th of September 1989. Keeping with multiple choice, who is the all-time goal scorer for United in the UEFA Cup? Paul Sturrock, Paul Hegarty or Robbie Winters?
I was going to say Robbie Winters. Sturrock, Heggie or Winters. Now, Winters probably scored about 6 or 7, I'm thinking. Surely Sturrock would have scored more than that, eh? Played in that a number of years. No, I think this is a trick for you. I think this is Robbie Winters. Going Winters.
The top goal scorer all-time for United in the UEFA Cup has 11 goals.
For Robbie Winters, then. Oh,
Paul
Hegarty.
Hegarty.
Heggie.
Yes,
Even
Heggie.
more reason I love the man.
United's 100th tie in Europe was undoubtedly the easiest. What was the score and who were the opponents?
The CE Principat and 9-0.
It was. Round number 3 is on previous guests. Archie Meekison made his United debut against Kilmarnock in April of which year?
2021.
Correct.
Yeah, it was COVID.
The beautiful Tony Andrew was our guest back in September. But what country was he in when we recorded the chat?
He gave me a list, didn't he? He was like, I could do it next week or the week after, but I'll be in Turkey, Hungary, China, Australia. Where was he?
He did mention other places you would be.
He did. I'm gonna guess Turkey. I think it was Turkey.
Correct.
I'm pretty sure he was in Europe. Yeah,
He was. Couldn't have put his big light on right enough, but
couldn't I?
our big guest for episode 300 was Margaro Gomes. He's played over
Legend.
200 times for United, but how many exactly?
Oh, 206.
Close. 209.
I kind of was just past 200.
Callum Butcher was our first
Booch.
guest this season. He's recently retired and it was his birthday on Thursday. How
Mhm.
old was he?
Fuck. How old was he? I was thinking 36. I want to say 36.
Close. He's 35.
Oh.
And final question of the round and of the Tannadice Test this week.
Good.
Who was our last ex-player guest of last season? And for a bonus point, what was the episode number?
Wow, no idea. Last ex-player guest last season.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Sheep? Kieran Freeman? Nah, it was at the start, was it? I've honestly no idea. You'll probably say, and I'll be like, I can't even mind speaking to him.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I'm going to tell him that at the end of March.
Hey, Conway.
It was
he
episode
went away mid-conversation for a pish, didn't he?
5.
Yes, I remember that. I do remember that.
There you go. The all singing, all dancing, and highly popular and fun-filled Tannadice Test will be back at its fullest next week. Just a reminder, we are hosting an evening with the menu Kiss Silver, Friday 27th of March, Chamber East for the longest 40. We'll be speaking to Brewster, Bowman, Conway and Dylan about two very special days at 194 and 2010. Tickets are on sale at thelongest40.com. That's about it then this week, Paul. There's no on this day, basically because it was pretty shite. And, well, I kind of knew you'd take a puss on you the day. As the more the day went on, the more I knew it was going to be like that. But yeah, the loan report and all that good stuff will return obviously next week, given it was hastily arranged. And like you said, we started this lesson 2 hours after the full-time whistle had went.
Yeah.
We've hardly said it, but generally, as the past hour and a bit has went past, I cannot probably believe, and I'm kind of half glad I'm not here for it, of how big a week this is. Because I'm not sure any nerves could attain it, but it's a massive week this week with these two matches, Tuesday and Friday.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Obviously, first and foremost, the league game, and we still need points to ensure our safety. And then, like, we're both missing Friday. I'll not be there. You're not going to make it. But it's the cup, isn't it? It's what we all dream of winning at the start of the season, and we're close. Like, it still feels like it's a million miles away, but like we're in the quarterfinals in a one-off game, so anything can happen. I would imagine Falkirk will be up for it after we turned them over just the other week. But we should be up for it as well, Rondo. It's a great opportunity. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to get to Hampden. And if you're a player in the football team in the quarterfinals of a cup and you're no arsed, then you're fucking in the wrong job, in my opinion. So hopefully we are up for it. Hopefully the gaffer sets what up to at least go for it. Then I just try and defend and tap them with penalties and bet them on penalties. That'll be pretty shite to watch. However, having said that, Rondo, if we go through on penalties, I'm more than happy with that. It's a massive week. It really is. It does feel like a massive week. And we cannot afford to shit the bed this week. We just cannot.
So that is it from a hastily recorded after the full-time whistle, episode 325. Find out more at DodeFoxPodcast.com. You can follow us on the socials for the Dode Fox Podcast. You can like, subscribe, click the notification bell on YouTube. And thank you very much to those who have supported the pod at buymeacoffee.com/Dode Fox Podcast. Do have a great week. Stay safe. Don't forget to wash your hands and your arsehole.